touchy-feely than Joe Biden, more pleasant than Andrew Cuomo, more charismatic than John Hickenlooper. Well, that is pretty funny stuff, I guess. Oprah, younger than Sanders, Biden, Warren, and Hickenlooper. Oprah, every Democrat to win the presidency in this century is from Chicago. So, but that's one guy. He hates Trump. But David Brooks is right up there. David Brooks, you may recall, is the guy who in 2008 went to visit President-elect Obama and said that he knew he would be a great president. Do you guys, you VIPs, remember why? Yeah, the VIPs are all nodding. They remember. He would be a great president because he had a really sharp crease in his pants. And we all know that's the sine qua non for a successful presidency.
I mean, Trump always has nice creases in his pants because Hope Hicks is ironing him on the plane.
I know. By the way, a texter just says, if Christie were elected president, he was planning to model his administration on William Howard Taft's.
You think Christie ever gets stuck in a bathtub?
I think he's more of a shower. I think he knew. He knew not to go near a bathtub. He didn't want that William Howard Taft moment of embarrassment. But anyway, so David Brooks hates Trump. There's no question he voted for Hillary Clinton. But he wrote this column in the New York Times, The Decline of Anti-Trumpism. Let me start with 3 inconvenient observations based on dozens of conversations around Washington over the past year. You think he's talking to people that like the subway, or on the metro for that matter? First, and people say he's crazy. Why do they say that? He's obviously a very prescient, brilliant observer of mankind. He thinks I'm beautiful and legendary. It's almost as if there's 2 White Houses. There's the Potemkin White House, which we tend to focus on. What do you mean we? What do you mean we? Trump berserk in front of the TV. Is he ever really berserk? Come on. That's ridiculous. See, this guy is saying everybody else is crazy except him, who's in the Never Trump movement, and he proves he's crazy. He's as berserk as anybody.
How about the CNN reporters ranting about golden showers in Moscow? Is that berserk?
Or that loop we just played from CNN talking about his mental fitness, and they use the word mad as in insane, not angry, as in insane. The lawyers working Trump berserk in front of the TV. The lawyers working the Russian investigation and the press operation. Then there's the invisible White House you never hear about, which is getting more effective at managing around the distracted boss. Whoa. David, let me ask you something. Why do you never hear about the invisible White House? Is it because the New York Times doesn't report about it, or CNN, or the Washington Post, or any of the others? I mention these inconvenient observations, he says, because the anti-Trump movement, of which I'm a proud member, oh, he's proud, seems to be getting dumber, as if they weren't dumb to begin with. It seems to be settling into a smug fairy tale version of reality that filters out discordant information. This is just occurring to him. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and this is just occurring to him now in January of 2018. More anti-Trumpers seem to be telling themselves a madness of King George narrative. Trump is a semi-literate madman surrounded by sycophants who are morally, intellectually, and psychologically inferior to people like us. Now, this next paragraph, he's on to something, though. The anti-Trump movement suffers from insularity. Most of the people who detest Trump don't know anybody who works with him or supports him. This is the old Pauline Kael thing, the critic, film critic for the New Yorker. When Nixon was reelected in '72, he says it can't be possible. I don't know anyone who voted for Nixon. And if they do have friends and family members who admire Trump, they've learned not to talk about this subject. So they get most of their information about Trumpism from others who also detest Trumpism, which is always a recipe for epistemic closure. He's trying to impress me. I don't know what that word means. Does anyone here know what epistemic means? The movement also suffers from lowbrowism. Fox News pioneered modern lowbrowism. Oh, really? How about the Iranian coverage in the New York Times where they told us that because of Donald Trump, the Iranian people had united around the mullahs? Was that lowbrow coverage, or was that just plain fake news?
You know who Bowdoin found when they wanted to bring a conservative to campus?
This guy?
Yeah. He's just as smug in person.
I've seen him on TV. Only for a matter of seconds, though. Just usually I don't even need to hear him speak. I just see I see that smirk on his face, and I just immediately reach for the clicker. The modern lowbrow, think Sean Hannity or Dinesh D'Souza. Oh, okay, I'll write those names down. Ignores normal journalistic or intellectual standards. He creates a style of communication that doesn't make you think more. It makes you think and notice less. He offers a steady diet of affirmation. Does this sound like CNN or what? He's describing CNN more accurately than he is Fox News. Focuses on simple topics. Mental fitness, mental fitness, mental fitness, mental fitness, mental fitness. Simple topics that require little background information and gets viewers addicted to daily doses of righteous contempt and delicious vindication. Mental fitness, mental fitness. We anti-Trumpers have our lowbrowism too, mostly on late night TV. See, he doesn't want to not get invited on all the shows, so he has to push it off on Jimmy Kimmel and Colbert and all the rest of those guys. But anti-Trump lowbrowism burst into full bloom with the Wolf book. Wolf doesn't pretend to adhere to normal journalistic standards. Unlike, say, Jason Blair from the New York Times and the Boston Globe. Unlike Walter Duranty in the 30s in Moscow. There is no famine in Ukraine. He happily admits he's just tossing out rumors that are too good to check. How about this one? Fidel Castro is not a communist. That was a good rumor that was too good to check back in 58, 59 for the New York Times. The ultimate test of the lowbrows is not whether it challenges you, teaches you, or captures the contours of reality. It's whether you feel an urge to share it on social media. So is this guy telling me that he doesn't check to see how his story is trending on the New York Times website? Because if he is, he's lying. Because I can tell you, there's nobody, including myself, who doesn't check around the clock. In every war, nations come to resemble their enemies, so I suppose it's normal that the anti-Trump movement would come to resemble the pro-Trump movement. I can just see him writing this. He's so self-satisfied, like he's really made a keen observation here. But it's not good. I've noticed a lot of young people look at the monotonous daily hysteria of we anti-Trumpers, and they find it silly. Young people? How about middle-aged people? How about old people? I dare say Stan Lee finds it silly as he tries to jump on his nurse. This isn't just a struggle over a president. It's a struggle over the rules we're going to play by after Trump. After Trump? Didn't he get the memo from Bandy Lee? He's going to end the world. The world is over. Give me some examples of some anti-Trump over-the-top Trump derangement syndrome that you've seen. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
This half hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by Life Change Tea. Food today is full of chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides. Cleanse your body of these nasty chemicals with Life Change Tea. You'll feel better and your immune system will be stronger. Go to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com.
Howie Carr.
Howie's having a birthday party, and you're invited. Next Wednesday, January 17th, the captain turns another year older, and we're throwing him a huge party. It'll be here at the Howie Carr Studios, which means you'll get to see the show happen live. And yes, there'll be a big Chinese food spread and plenty of cake. Get your tickets to Howie Carr's big birthday party at HowieCarrshow.com. Click store. Every attendee to Howie's birthday party will get a loaded gift bag. You don't want to miss Howie Carr's birthday party. Get tickets at info@HowieCarrshow.com. Click store.
In Elizabeth Warren's new year, taxpayers pay more for bloated government. Criminal illegal immigrants get to stay, and our borders remain unsecure. Let's have new leadership for the new year. Jeff Deal has a proven record of saving money for Massachusetts taxpayers. Jeff Deal is the only candidate who has fought against sanctuary cities, and he supports building the wall. It's time for the real deal for Massachusetts.
I'm Jeff Deal, and I approve this message.
Paid for and authorized by Deal for U.S. Senate.
And now Grace gets to know Howie a little better.
When you were at your peak fatness, what was the one food you could crush?
Fried clams. Lots. Many. Endless fried clams. Batter dipped. Belly fried clams from Ken's in Pine Point.
What was going through your mind the day you wore short pants in your interview on Fox 25?
I really wasn't thinking about it till I got there and I realized, oh my goodness, this is going to be a wide shot. I think I'm in a bit of trouble. But I've been going to the trial all summer long, and I hadn't had a chance to wear short pants. I had to wear long pants into the courtroom every day, and so I was really so happy when the trial was over because there were a few weeks left of summer, and I knew I was going to get to wear short pants again. So that's what I was. That's why I made my mistake.
And now one of Howie's biggest fans.
Some of the hats were crocheted, you ignorant Republican. It's pronounced creme de la creme, you stupid Republican. He's 12 years older than me. I wish you'd learn how to speak English. He's 12 years older than I, because you would say he's 12 years older than I am. You wouldn't say he's 12 years older than me am. I wish you would learn English. Go to Mexico, learn English, then climb over this wall that's not going to be built and paid for. Bye. Have you tried the Donald Trump sandwich yet? It's bologna with Russian dressing, a tiny pickle on white. Do you really think everyone of voting age has a driver's license? That shows what an idiot you are. Do you think somebody 97 who wants to vote has a driver's license? You're an idiot. You're the biggest idiot.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to. Nope. I'm sure you've got a perfectly good excuse. Kids, work. I get it. You're busy. So what better time than now? Let's begin. Raise one finger if you're a man. Ladies, none yet. Oh, count in your head if you're driving. Now, 3 more fingers for everyone over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40, 1 more if you're not physically active, another finger if anyone in your family has type 2 diabetes, another if you've got high blood pressure. If you're overweight, raise another finger, 2 if you're very overweight, and 3 if you're really overweight. You've just taken the world's first audio prediabetes test. And if you're holding up 5 or more fingers, visit doihaveprediabetes.org or talk to your doctor. There's no excuse because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Have you seen Howie's latest t-shirts and sweatshirts? Grab one now at HowieCarrShow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. Give me some examples of over-the-top Trump derangement syndrome. I guess you could just say CNN is one example of it. But the fact that this guy is saying it's over the top, but he's over the top himself. He makes it sound like somehow the Republic has descended into anarchy and madness with Trump's presidency. I mean, Trump today made it clear at that meeting he had. I mean, we may be disappointed with the fact that he seemed to be bending on the Dreamers, but he did say, he pointed out, they won't show it on the replays tonight, certainly not on MSNBC and CNN, maybe on Fox, but he pointed out that Obama didn't observe the Constitution when he signed the DACA executive order. He admitted 22 times that he had no power to do that. So has Donald Trump done anything that's unconstitutional? The travel ban from the 6 majority Muslim countries, that was constitutional. The Supreme Court has upheld it. They keep the appeals court filled with Clinton and Obama appointees, keeps knocking it down, but the Supreme Court upholds it.
Emoluments, Howie. Emoluments.
Emoluments. It's another jive thing, getting money from foreign powers. He's not taking any money from foreign powers. And again, I mentioned this in the first hour of the show. They talk about, Trump is a danger to journalists. How is Trump a danger to journalists? Did Trump wiretap and surveil James Rosen, the Fox News reporter, and his parents? Has Trump surveilled Associated Press reporters like Obama did? Has Trump used the Environmental Protection Agency and the Internal Revenue Service as a political tool, committing dirty tricks and political sabotage, police state tactics that Nixon never dreamed of? And yet they make it, and because Obama was black and had a crease in his pants, he gets a pass from these people. Are we going to restore the distinction between excellence and mediocrity, truth and a lie? Are we going to insist on the difference between a genuine expert and an ill-informed blowhard? Who's the ill-informed blowhard here? Think of all the idiotic things Obama said. I'm not even going to go. I don't even feel like going over them, but you remember them all. Are we going to restore the distinction between those institutions like the Congressional Budget Office that operate by professional standards and speak with legitimate authority, and the propaganda mills that don't? There's a hierarchy of excellence in every sphere. There's a huge difference between William F. Buckley and Sean Hannity, between the reporters at this newspaper and a rumor spreader. There is. There is. Trump was wiretapped at Trump Tower. Then, how dare Trump say he was wiretapped at Trump Tower? No, they're not. No, those are great reporters at the New York Times. Part of the struggle is to maintain these distinctions and not to contribute to their evisceration. Oh, another big word. Not as obscure as epistemic, but evisceration. 844-500-4242. TDS to the extreme, says 508. 7 more years. Donna Brazil has sent out a tweet on the occasion of Steve Bannon's resignation from Breitbart. Steve Bannon and I, we both ended up pissing off a lot of people. But I'll say this for myself. At least I did it with my own book. I think that's the funniest thing she's ever said.
That's going to sting.
It's so true.
He's gonna book. He could write a great book, don't you think? Or did he sign an NDA?
Well, I think the book's been written, hasn't it?
No, I think he's got more.
I don't know. I think the time has passed for him. And she knew that she took advantage of it. Remember when she was on Tucker one time and she was holding up the book? She held it up 3 times in one interview. She kept holding it up. Steve Bannon again. Wolf's laughing all the way to the bank, and Bannon's been fired. I'm Howie Carr.
Natural Health Solutions with Chris and Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, how you doing?
Great, Chris.
Now, you're the CEO of GetTheTea.com, right?
Yes, I am.
What is GetTheTea.com? I mean, is this tea you buy in a store?
Well, no, it's not. Life Change Tea is just that, life-changing. Life Change Tea is an herbal tea that gently cleanses your body from intruders.
What do you mean by intruders?
Well, intruders are toxins, chemicals, GMOs, heavy metals, and more. They're in our food, in our water, in our air we breathe.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
And Life Change Tea will help you with removing these, as you say, intruders?
That's right, Chris.
Are there side effects with this tea?
Well, you might lose a little weight. When you clean your colon, you lose weight, you feel better, and you have more energy.
Wow. Ronnie, where can people purchase Life Change Tea?
Oh, that's easy. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
Ronnie, I want to thank you for being on the show. People, don't forget, GetTheTea.com.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada. Nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me, and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So, I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume, and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
And now, a bunch of random facts with Grace.
It is impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. The placement of a donkey's eyes in its head enables it to see all 4 feet at all times. Months that begin on a Sunday will always have a Friday the 13th. What is called a French kiss in the English-speaking world is known as an English kiss in France. Birds don't urinate, but they do poop. Let me tell you, you can't kill yourself by holding your breath. So that's good. A woman from California once tried to sue the makers of Cap'n Crunch because the Crunch berries contained no berries of any kind. In Japan, crooked teeth are considered cute and attractive. A Swedish woman lost her wedding ring and found it 16 years later, growing on a carrot in her garden. The toothpaste Colgate in Spanish translates to, go hang yourself.
This has been a bunch of random facts with Grace. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and blogs at HowieCarrshow.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
And now Grace gets to know Howie a little better.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
My first celebrity crush, I had a crush on Penny. She was the niece of Sky King in the early TV series, which it switched over from radio. Penny would probably be about 100 years old today.
Were you ever scared of Johnny Materano?
No. Never. When he used to come to the house, he would bring a bottle of wine or two from his brother Jimmy's winery, or he'd bring flowers for the mailroom manager. And when I'd meet him at the Herald, Laurel Sweet always used to say, it would be easier if he wasn't such an amiable, likable guy.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
How do you spend $1 million doing the soccer field? You have a level piece of land. Throw them a ball, let them play soccer if they have to play it all. We don't want to listen to his stuff with being politically correct and everything has...
President Trump's first State of the Union address is only a few weeks away, but Democrats are already planning to make a scene. like their fellow travelers in Hollywood, a bunch of moonbats are going to wear all black to the speech to stand in solidarity against the perverts. After years of relying on Hollywood's box to win elections, these brave Democrats are now speaking truth to power. Funny, they never wore all black to Bill Clinton's speeches. And by the way, has Al Franken been reached for comment?
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
One of the most famous men in New England.
Conservative radio host Howie Carr.
The legendary Howie.
Who do you love?
We love Howie Carr.
Howie Carr.
Howie Carr. We love you, Howie.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
For that matter, has John Conyers been reached for comment? So many people need to comment on this. Juanita Broderick is the rape victim of Bill Clinton when he was Attorney General of Arkansas and he was running for governor. This was back in the late 1970s, 1978. And she was raped by him in a hotel room, and he bit her lip, and she gave an interview to NBC News in, I think, 1999, and Brian Williams, the fake newser, refused to put it on the NBC Nightly News, even though it was very credible, and Lisa Myers, the NBC reporter, did a good job on it. And Juanita Broderick, as you know, was there at the town hall debate in 2016. Between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, she went to the inauguration. And she's a good person, and she's got a new book out now, her own book. She's self-published, and she's been talking about she'd been sending out tweets after Oprah's remarks the other night at the Golden Globes, and we wanted to talk to Juanita Broderick and ask her about her take on Oprah, and especially considering Oprah's relationship with Harvey Weinstein, and also the fact that all the women in Congress now are going to wear black, as I just said to the State of the Union address. Juanita Broderick, thanks for being with us here on the Howie Carr Show.
Oh, it's just great to be back again, Howie. How are you? I haven't seen you since the Liberty Ball.
That was a fun evening, wasn't it?
Oh, that was awesome. And then as soon as I got in the building, your people called and told me where you were. And boy, you had a great viewing spot.
Yes, we did. We were at the inaugural ball. Juanita Broderick was there, and Paula Jones was there, and several of us, my family was there, the mailroom manager. It was great. So, Juanita, first of all, let's talk about your book. What's the title of your book?
The title is You'd Better Put Some Ice on That. And that's, of course, people that don't know, that's what Bill Clinton said to me before he left my hotel room, and in reference to my lip.
Yeah, because he bit it to keep you under control, and I think at least one other woman has said that's his MO when he's raping somebody, when he's raping a woman.
Right. That's what I've heard. Of course, I didn't know that for several years, until I think it was Elizabeth Grayson Ward that made that comment. Yeah.
So, what did you think when you heard Oprah talking about all the? Let me just read your tweets. Your tweet here. Hey, Oprah, Golden Globes. Funny, I've never heard you mention my name. Can you hear me now? Guess not. My rapist is your friend, Bill Clinton. That's a pretty good. You're pretty good with the tweets, Juanita Broderick, I must say.
Oh, thanks, Howard. It took me a long time. 2 years ago, I had to ask my grandson how to tweet. I had no idea how to do it, and he didn't know what I was going to tweet when I sent out that one answering Hillary and making the statement that I did. Yeah, I've sort of learned how to do it now.
So what did you think? I mean, we've talked about this before, but Oprah's had him on, and when she had the show on every day, and all she did was, when the Monica Lewinsky scandal was being recounted, she just said, "How did it affect you?" It was all just about how, like covering Chappaquiddick, like Ted Kennedy was the victim rather than Mary Jo Kopechne. Bill Clinton was the victim in all these scandals. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, and I never missed Oprah's show. But then in 2004, when she went to Bill Clinton's home and did that in-depth interview with him, you see she did it for her O magazine.
Yeah.
And she was shown walking all around the grounds with him, talking with him about his infidelities, but not once did she bring up his victims. That's what made me I never watched her again.
And now what do you...
And then you see all these pictures of her with him, and of course with Weinstein, but she's had a friendship with the Clintons for years. Why could she not delve into this? To me, this was the most important issue regarding Bill Clinton, since he wasn't found guilty in the impeachment. Why didn't she do that?
Juanita, you know why? Because he was the first black president of the United States, right?
Sure, Howie.
That's what they said. That's what they said.
Yeah.
I know. Well, listen, what do you make of these women that are going to wear black? I mean, talk about, hypocrisy here. I mean, you got women like Kirsten Gillibrand, the senator from New York. I mean, Clinton campaigned with her in New York State. And now she says he should have resigned, and I'm sure I guarantee you she's going to wear black to the State of the Union address.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I saw that. Where were those people? Where was the New York Times when they just recently came out with, I believe, Juanita. I think it was. I'm not for sure what the girl's name was, but where were they in '99? And where were they when Hillary was running for president? It was just too little, too late.
Yeah, it's. Are you going to watch the State of the Union just to take names of the women who are the congresswomen and senators who are dressed in black?
Oh, sure. I'll be happy to do that. They're probably one. Some of them may still be the Democrats who refused to read my sealed record during the impeachment. They're probably some of those.
So what do you get? Do you just what else do you go into other than the actual incident in your book? You'd better put some ice on it.
Okay, it's about my life. It's about my life in the 60s and the 70s as a young nurse and as a young struggling businesswoman. That's and how Bill Clinton affected my life after the rape. I was working hard every day just to make my business a success, and when I met him, it made me a different person. And I just go into all of that. And also I go into being abused by my mom as a child, physically abused. And I think all of these things just made me a stronger person.
It must have been amazing in 1992. You see this guy, he's a rapist, and all of a sudden you realize that he's going to unseat an incumbent president, and he's going to be the most powerful person in the world. And he's being lionized by the liberal media as this wonderful person, and you know him for what he is. I mean, that must have been one of the most amazing parts of your whole life, is watching this ascension to power.
Yeah. Oh, it was just revolting to me. But I hadn't come out then, Howie. And then, of course, Jennifer Flowers came out. And I even thought about in 92 coming out then. But then Jennifer Flowers came out, and all of these other people started coming out with these stories. But they were bulletproof, Yeah. I do regret not coming out earlier.
But Jennifer Flowers, at least, she had a consensual relationship. You were different. I mean, he attacked you. I mean, that was much more horrible what happened to you than what happened to Jennifer Flowers. She was just a victim of the nuts and sluts, offense that they used.
Oh, I know. But I still hoped. I hoped that these infidelities and everything would still bring him down. And then there's just so many things. Things would come up about him, and you'd think, gotcha. But no, it never happened. And I would never have come out, Howie, had it not been for the Paula Jones lawsuit. You know, that outed me. So I didn't have any choice after that. And I chose Lisa Myers to come out with. And it was so hard. It was so hard to finally come out.
Yeah. So people can order your book on Amazon, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Or they can go to JuanitaBroderick.com.
JuanitaBroderick.com. That's 2 D's in Broderick, right?
Right.
All right. JuanitaBroderick.com. You'd better put some ice on it as the title of the book. And Juanita, it's always great to talk to you. Maybe we'll call you again after the State of the Union address, so we can get your response.
Hey, that'd be great.
To all this virtue signaling going on among female Democrats in Congress. Thank you, Juanita Broderick, for being with us. I'm Howie Carr. This half hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by St. Jude Retreats. Are you struggling with addiction? Is a person you love struggling with addiction? Is it time to get help? Visit SoberForever.net today and leave addiction and recovery behind you forever. That's SoberForever.net or call 888-988-1336.
Howie Carr.
Howie's having a birthday party, and you're invited. Next Wednesday, January 17th, the captain turns another year older, and we're throwing him a huge party. It'll be here at the Howie Carr Studios, which means you'll get to see the show happen live. And yes, there'll be a big Chinese food spread and plenty of cake. Get your tickets to Howie Carr's big birthday party at HowieCarrshow.com. Click store. Every attendee to Howie's birthday party will get a loaded gift bag. You don't want to miss Howie Carr's birthday party. Get tickets at info@HowieCarrshow.com. Click store.
Hey, it's Toby from Cape Gunworks in Hyannis. Have you been thinking about getting your license to carry a firearm in Massachusetts? You'll need to complete an approved firearms training course to get a license. And at Cape Gunworks, we offer one of the best courses around. In just 4 hours, we'll teach you everything you need to get your license to carry. In addition to Massachusetts firearms training courses, we also offer the Utah non-resident concealed carry course, which allows you to carry in 30 states. If you don't have a firearm yet, don't worry. We've got hundreds available in our new showroom. Exercise your Second Amendment rights at Cape Gunworks in Hyannis and at CapeGunworks.com.
As if it's not bad enough that we have to deal with fake news on a daily basis, the poor folks looking to make a window decision have to deal with fake science as well. Now, we're not just talking Bigfoot, flat earth, man-made, global warming, Loch Ness monster type of fake science. No, sir, Mr. Man. We're talking the worst kind of fake science there is. The kind where they make up dubious performance claims, sprinkle in some technical terms, throw in a test that demonstrates nothing, then claim it proves that they have the best window on the market. Pure bunkum. We here at Matthews Brothers are happy to report that you no longer have to take the word of any Tom, Dick, or Marvin who comes along. Nowadays, every window made is tested and verified exactly the same way, so you, the sagacious and savvy consumer, can compare everything: structural strength, thermal performance, aesthetics, as well as pricing, and make a truly informed evaluation based on industry-accepted standards, not some meaningless homegrown test, also known as fake science. You can learn more about the real science behind our wicked awesome Maine-made windows, but only at Better Lumber Yards and Window Professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
#618-WAVE 1-888-618-WAVE or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Grace Curley is giving you her take on the news of the day. Read Grace's latest column at HowieCarrShow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
Yeah, I don't blame Juanita Broderick for being angry about Oprah's breathtaking hypocrisy the other night. And again, if you haven't seen the pictures, you really ought to check them out on the internet. They've got all these pictures of her, grinning and even almost smooching with Harvey Weinstein. And again, like she said, she did all these shows with Bill Clinton, commiserating with him as, the travails you suffered at the hands of the vast right-wing conspiracy. And then she says, you get a voice, everybody gets a voice. Yeah, come on. I mean, the nuts and sluts defense. And as we know now from the release during the campaign of those recordings that were made in the 1980s of Hillary Clinton talking about defending the rapist in Arkansas back in the 1970s, they basically were working on this nuts and sluts defense as far back as 1975 when she defended this guy who raped a 12-year-old girl. And now all these Democrat women, who said they would, drop to their knees to service Bill Clinton because he protected their abortion rights and that it was just consensual sex with Monica Lewinsky, even though she was a 21-year-old intern in the White House. They're all shocked and appalled now, so they're gonna wear black. Come on, give me a break. 844-500-4242. Juanita Broderick was never a guest on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Never got a special on the O Network. Never got like a 4-page spread in O Magazine. Never got an invite to the big headquarters there in the Loop in Chicago, or to Oprah's palatial estate in Hawaii. Now our place in California has been flooded, right? It's a victim of the mudslides. Chris, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, the hypocrisy on your part regarding Clinton and Oprah Winfrey, you continue to defend Trump. Trump was accused of raping a 13-year-old in '94. She dropped the suit because Trump threatened her with the Capstein guy, a convicted pedophile.
He threatened her. She dropped the suit?
She dropped it. He threatened to ruin her life.
Was she one of the women that what's her name, the lawyer Lisa Bloom, was going around offering hundreds of thousands of dollars to push the suit? Did you read that story, Chris? Did you read about that? How the woman was offered like a dishwasher or something, and then as the election got closer and closer, and they realized they might lose the election, they upped it to $2 million. They were going to pay the woman $2 million to accuse Trump. Did you read that story, Chris? I'll bet you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't read it, did you, Chris? Okay, Chris. Okay, all right. Thank you, Chris. Yeah. So. There is no Juanita Broderick in Donald Trump's past. There is none. And the Juanita Broderick has people who saw it happen, who they didn't see it happen, but they heard her telling about it afterwards. And again, that was totally hushed up by the mainstream media. They refused to allow anything to be used on the network newscast about it. And the story was quashed by Brian Williams.
If there's a big conspiracy covering up whatever Chris was just talking about, I guess CNN is in on it too, because I don't think I've heard anyone on CNN talking about this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The only questions Oprah Winfrey asked about Clinton's countless scandals focused on Monica Lewinsky and sounded like this. What was the most difficult part of the time for you? She didn't ask anything about, as Juanita said, about her, about Paula Jones, about Kathleen Willey, about any of the other women that he was talking about. This is what Ben Shapiro said on Fox News the other night. Oprah was standing in front of an entire town filled with sexual harassers and abusers. She said nothing about it for 20 years. She was being cheered by people who said nothing about it for 20 years. And there she is pretending that she's leading the fight. And I guess the Golden Globes are sponsored by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. That's who sponsors it, just like the Academy of Motion Picture Science sponsors the Oscars. So where were they? Did anyone in the Hollywood Foreign Press Association break any stories about this? Is Ronan Farrow a member of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association? Is the New Yorker magazine a member of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association? At least one of Weinstein's accusers, Katie Noble, claims that Oprah and Naomi Campbell were used to dupe her into thinking he would help her with her career, only to use her for sex. She's filed a suit against him in federal court in Manhattan. Katie Noble. She said she was head over heels impressed when she first met Weinstein at an event in London because he was hanging out with model Naomi Campbell, who's not the most stable person in the world herself, and had megastar Oprah swinging off his arm. I thought, obviously, this man has something amazing in store for me, she said during a teary-eyed press conference in Manhattan. Yeah, he did have something amazing in store for her, but it wasn't exactly what she thought it was going to be. By the way, Steve, do you have that cut of her talking about how racist white people have to die off? Do you have that cut? We'll play it afterwards. We had it yesterday and we didn't get to it, but it's pretty amazing. There is a Rasmussen quick instant poll that came out today and had Oprah ahead of Trump 48-38. But again, what does that poll mean at this stage? She got 24 hours of the most slobbering kind of pro-favorable media coverage imaginable. I'm Howie Carr.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to. Nope. I'm sure you've got a perfectly good excuse. Kids, work. I get it. You're busy. So what better time than now? Let's begin. Raise one finger if you're a man. Ladies, none yet. Oh, count in your head if you're driving. Now, 3 more fingers for everyone over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40, 1 more if you're not physically active, another finger if anyone in your family has type 2 diabetes, another if you've got high blood pressure. If you're overweight, raise another finger, 2 if you're very overweight, and 3 if you're really overweight. You've just taken the world's first audio prediabetes test. And if you're holding up 5 or more fingers, visit doihaveprediabetes.org or talk to your doctor. There's no excuse because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
And now, Rambling Ronnie from Worcester.
Grace, you sound so hot. I'm not drinking anymore either. Been 20 years. Howie, what was the name of that girl that Peter blew there, Massport there, about 20 years ago? They got pictures of Blue coming in on the boat with the topless, flat-chested woman. What was her name? Not for nothing, Grace, but we become them, you know. Now we're tearing down statues of historic significance. You can't have history. I remember when they started blowing up them things over in the Middle East, 2,000 years old. I mean, they're just sick people. And what makes this any different? It's crazy. It really is, Grace. I'll talk to you. Howie, I used to lay some tracks down with Tool. You gotta listen to Tool. He's really coming up, you know. It's all working good, Jerry. Howie, it's all good.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. Gifts are always great, but who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest, between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lawrence Carr, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click store. HowieCarrshow.com. Click store.
And now Grace gets to know Howie a little better.
If you were going to write Whitey a letter, what would you say?
I would say, hello, Jimmy. Don't you think you better get right with Jesus before you die? Why don't you tell me all the other people you killed? Because we know you killed a lot more than 19 people. I know you were only convicted of 11 or 12, but we know there was a lot more than 19. Let's go all the way back to when you were working for Hank Garrity, that homosexual gangster in Andrews Square. Who did you kill for him? That's just for starters.
What advice would you give to aspiring bridge players?
My advice to aspiring bridge players is learn how to count cards. The same advice I would give to anybody who wants to break even in a casino. Count cards. Learn how to count cards. It's a discipline like anything else.
Celebrating 25 years on the air, this is the Howie Carr Show.
844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. And now it is time for news with Grace.
I have so much news today, too, Howie. Some perv news that we couldn't get to yesterday because, as you said, it comes in at such a rapid pace. But
yes, I had to interrupt the regular broadcast to give the Stan Lee perv news update.
I know, and I know you hate doing that. I know you hate, diverting to the pervs. But let's start with, so this pastor in Memphis, it's a very bizarre story. You've heard of this.
Not a religious man.
A religious man who...
A man of the cloth.
He admits he had a sexual incident. I'm using air quotes for all those listening.
An encounter.
Well, this says incident, but I mean, we can all assume it's the same stuff going on. But it was with a 17-year-old. He was 22. And so he tells this to his congregation. And because I think he knew the girl was going to come out and make it very public. So he wanted to, get ahead of it, which is the theme of today, preemptive.
Right.
And the weirdest part is, so I pulled the audio of this. The guy is explaining what happened, and he gets a standing ovation, which I think standing ovations, people give them way too willy-nilly nowadays.
I agree.
But this is exceptionally so. So let's play the pastor.
I regretfully had a sexual incident with a female high school senior in the church. I apologized and sought forgiveness from her parents, her discipleship group, the church staff, and the church leadership who informed the congregation.
Did you
in agreement with wise counsel,
God?
I took every step to respond in a biblical way. I am sorry, and I humbly ask for your forgiveness. I love you all very much.
And,
That's the best case scenario.
I'm going to make a documentary about the National Rifle Association in Wayne LaPierre.
He betted a member of his flock, and they're applauding him. Something might be broken in that church.
It's very, and the girl's mad. The girl who, you know, he did this to. Jules, she came out and she was like, obviously she saw the video, and she's like, okay, that's a little bizarre. You're all applauding him. Very weird. But, I mean, I guess he did admit it, so what are you going to do? But in other preemptive news, okay, he's not the only one. Michael Douglas came forward, and he's trying to get a jump on a story of a woman who worked with him 30 years ago who's saying a variety of things. She's saying that he was very raunchy, he performed a sex act in front of her, a lot of weird things. He's saying none of it happened.
Himself.
Yes. And he is adamant that this did not happen, that she's trying to ruin his reputation.
I've always thought that it was an unwise move to